Meri Brown reveals what finally got Kody to call after ghosting. During Sister Wives Season 19, Kody Brown has been processing his three former wives, Janelle, Cristin, and Meri Brown leaving him. At times he doesn't seem to care and even gives off the vibe of good riddance when speaking about them. However, other times he seems to be deeply hurt they could let the plural marriage end. Now Meri reveals what finally got Kody to call her after he had originally ghosted her. Kody Brown ghosts Meri multiple times. In Sister Wives Season 19, Janelle Brown talked about Kody Brown being hard to get a hold of with business. She struggled to get answers about Coyote Pass and eventually decided it was best to lawyer up. Likewise, on multiple occasions, Meri Brown has talked about how difficult it was for her to be left hanging by Kody. Seemingly, Kody comes in and out of Meri's life as he pleases. At earlier points in their marriage, Meri would reach out to Kody just to have crickets in response. For instance, he didn't feel like dealing with an anniversary with her at one point and completely ignored her. Likewise, during Season 19, she talks about discussing the spiritual release from Kody. When she first brought it up, he didn't address it. However, she wasn't entertaining his ghosting game any longer. Even without his approval, but tired of the waiting, she moved forward to end the plural marriage. Meri Brown reveals what finally got Kody to call after ghosting. In the latest episode, Meri Brown shares that when she gave up the ghost, it brought Kody Brown back to life. While Meri struggled to contact the church without Kody, she decided it was time. Instead of ignoring her calls and texts, Kody had a new lease on life with Meri. After processing the humiliation of the church, Kody was able to be cordial and even enjoy Meri's company. Meri revealed private text to Kody sent right after she notified him about the release. She told her friends, Jen Sullivan and Brandy, "I texted him and he called me within 20 minutes. Furthermore, she tells them, within the week, he goes, "Why did you do it so fast?" He's like, "I don't understand why you did it so fast." Then he jokes, "You have a guy on the side waiting?" Understandably, she was confused and even insulted by his comments. Since he had no interest in continuing the marriage, the release was the only other option she could see. Meri Brown shows her friends the texts. While Meri Brown was hanging out with Jen and Brandy, she excitedly said, "It was a good text. Do you want to hear it?" Both friends obliged. Meri says, "I said this. I'm gonna read it back. Hey Kody, just wanted to follow up from the text I sent a couple of weeks ago. Just wanted to let you know that I had a conversation with the leadership in Utah today and the official release was granted. I'm brokenhearted that our life came to this. I will always love and respect you. Thank you for many years of joy. I hope you truly will have peace now and I release you from any responsibility or worry about me. I got this." She let them know she was granted what is called in our church a release, which is basically the equivalent of a divorce. However, Kody says that Meri doesn't have to say anything bad now because her friends will do it for her. Difficult but necessary. Seemingly, Meri Brown did what she felt was necessary after years of waiting to revive the marriage. She ripped the Band-Aid off and accepted the pain of the termination. She says, "It was a very, very hard conversation, hard in meaning heartbreaking, because this is not what I wanted to do. This is not what I intended when I married Kody." Additionally, she says, "Back in 2014, Kody and I did do a legal divorce, and for me, that whole process was purely for the fact that he could then marry Robin Brown legally and then adopt her three older kids. But our spiritual marriage, our spiritual ceiling was still intact." Furthermore, Meri jokes about how she had one marriage but two divorces. Kody and Meri Brown's new relationship. Meri Brown knows she and Kody are on a new chapter. She says, "I don't think that it's inauthentic at all. It's just not at a place that we're calling each other and texting and being like, 'Hey friend, how's it going? What are you doing today?' But she acknowledges it's not that kind of a relationship, but when we are in each other's space, when we do need to interact, it's totally fine." Furthermore, the release appeared to lift their spirits. In many ways, it was a relief from the burden both carried for years not knowing how to proceed. Then Meri added, "I'm very comfortable with him. It's not awkward as far as that goes, but we're just not friends. Certainly not friends. You know what I mean? I'm happy with it." Meri Brown adjusted her camera, a soft beam of afternoon light framing her face as she prepared to go live on Instagram. It had been months since Kody's last phone call, and in that time, she'd built a quieter, more introspective life. She'd thrown herself into her bed and breakfast business, nurtured friendships outside of the Brown family web, and even dipped her toes into personal development retreats. But today, she had a story to share, one that left her feeling equal parts liberated and perplexed. "Hey, everyone," she began, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. "I've been thinking about sharing this for a while now. It's complicated, but I think it's time." The comment section lit up instantly, fans offering encouragement and curiosity. For years, Meri had been the poster child for resilience in the face of heartbreak, and her audience knew that any revelation would be meaningful. "So," she continued, "you all know things between Kody and me have been strained. Well, a few weeks ago, out of the blue, he called me." The room felt heavy as she spoke, her voice carrying both the weight of old wounds and the levity of unexpected closure. Meri hadn't heard from Kody since their awkward encounter at a family gathering months prior. He'd avoided her gaze, leaning heavily on his bond with Robin while the other wives maintained their distance. For Meri, it had felt like being erased, not just as a wife, but as a person who had once been integral to his world. That's why his call had been so startling. It was a Tuesday afternoon when her phone rang, Kody's name flashing on the screen. She'd stared at it, debating whether to answer or let it go to voicemail. Curiosity won out. "Hello," she said, her voice guarded. There was a pause on the other end, followed by Kody's familiar timbre. "Meri. Hi." She waited, unsure what to expect. An apology, an explanation. Neither came. I was wondering if we could talk. In person." Meri's mind raced. Why now, and why in person? "Okay," she said cautiously. "When and where?" They met at a quiet coffee shop on the outskirts of Flagstaff. Meri arrived early, nursing a chai latte as she rehearsed the questions she'd been saving for years. When Kody walked in, he looked different. His signature confidence seemed muted, his eyes searching the room until they landed on her. "Thanks for meeting me," he said, sliding into the seat across from her. Meri nodded. "What's this about, Kody?" He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "I've been doing a lot of thinking. About everything. About us?" "Us," she repeated, her voice tinged with disbelief. "There hasn't been an us in years." "I know," he said, his voice low. "And that's on me. I've been selfish, Meri. I've hurt you. I've ignored you. But something happened recently that made me realize I can't keep doing this." Meri's heart pounded. She wanted to believe him, but years of disappointment had built a sturdy wall around her trust. "What happened?" she asked. Kody's revelation came in pieces, his words halting as if he were still grappling with the truth himself. It turned out that a mutual acquaintance, someone from their church community, had reached out to Kody after running into Meri at a local event. The acquaintance had praised Meri's warmth, resilience, and strength, commenting on how much she'd grown since stepping back from the chaos of plural marriage. "They said something that stuck with me," Kody admitted. "They said, you know, Kody, Meri doesn't need you anymore. But maybe you need her." The words had struck a nerve, forcing Kody to confront the void Meri's absence had left in his life. While he'd been consumed with his relationship with Robin and the fallout with the other wives, Meri had been quietly building a life that no longer revolved around him. And that realization that she was thriving without him had unsettled him in ways he hadn't anticipated. As Meri listened, a mixture of emotions swirled within her. Part of her wanted to scoff at the irony of it all. It had taken her leaving, emotionally, if not physically, for Kody to see her value. But another part of her felt a flicker of validation. She'd spent so many years yearning for this acknowledgement, and now, here it was, albeit late and imperfect. "So, what do you want from me, Kody?" she asked, her tone even. "I don't know," he admitted. "I'm not saying we can go back to the way things were. I know that's not possible. But I want to find a way to be in your life again. To be better." Meri leaned back, studying him. "You've said things like this before. What makes this time different?" Kody hesitated, then said, "Because this time, I'm not asking you to wait for me. I'm not asking you to do anything. I want you to know that I see you now. I respect you. And I'm sorry for everything I've done to make you feel less than you are."